So we are broadcasting, but I'm waiting for the latency to show up with the live broadcast on the feed, and then we will get started shortly. Yes. Good morning if you're on the West Coast. Good afternoon, good evening, good morrow if you're in another area. Let's make sure the sound is working. I want to make sure the connection is going well so that you can hear what we're about to talk about today. It is working. Great. So, welcome to the channel and welcome to this live video. The lives on Positively Focused are all about instruction. I'm here to offer free of charge the same information that I share in my client one-on-one practices so that more people can benefit from what I know and what my clients are increasingly knowing, that you are at the center of the universe. And as a result of that, the universe is bending over backwards to give you everything that you want without you having to do anything to get those things. And alongside that dynamic are the fundamental spiritual principles underlying how physical reality works, which you are being introduced to through these lives and the other videos I post on the Positively Focused YouTube channel. With your awareness that you're at the center of the universe and that the universe is bending over backwards to give you everything you want without you having to do anything to get it, with your awareness of that and your ability to harness the levers of the spiritual principles underlying how physical reality works, you're able to deliberately create a life experience in which everything you want flows into your life experience effortlessly. But more important than getting everything that you want, you experience what I talk about in all of my videos and all of my work in Positively Focused, which is you get to experience the joyful, ecstatic, deeply appreciative life experience that I call the charmed life. And ultimately, that's what you're wanting. Everything, Abraham loves to say this, everything that you're wanting because you believe you'll feel better in the having of that. And so the ultimate purpose of being here is not to have things. The ultimate purpose of being here is to feel better in the process of your expansion, of becoming more and more of what you are, not who you are, which is an eternal being moving through eternity and experiencing greater levels of self-awareness and self-knowledge, and as a result of that, contributing to the unfolding of all that is. It's so good. And that's what we're talking about today. Today we're going to talk about a key component of what you are, which is your broader perspective. We're going to dive a little deep into this, I was going to say concept, but it's not a concept, it's an actuality. It is just as real, your broader perspective is just as real as you perceive your physical reality to be. In fact, your broader perspective is more real than your physical reality because your physical reality is a projection that you are ongoingly projecting in order to move through your expansion. And when you transition back into non-physical, which is your home, physical reality will be realized by you that it is your creation. Your broader perspective, on the other hand, it's so good, is your creation, but it is, as you'll discover as we continue this live, it is actually what you are. So let's jump into it. So I have some key takeaways that you're going to get as a result of this, and I'm going to review them now. By the end of this live, you're going to understand what your broader perspective is. You're also going to understand why it's important that you connect consciously with this aspect of you. You're also going to hear what the benefits of connecting with that broader perspective of you are. You're also going to understand how to develop a conscious relationship with your broader perspective. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm just moving my computer over so I can look straight at it. So let's first start with, what is your broader perspective? Very, very important question. Your broader perspective is similar, but not the same as what humans mean when they use the word soul. The reason why it's similar but not the same is there's a whole lot of distortion in that idea of a soul. First of all, there's the concept that you have a soul, and that there's a concept that someone can take your soul, or that you can give your soul away. Particularly, I'm talking about the devil or God, a God. So it seems when people use that word soul that they're referring to something that you possess that can be taken from you or damned, or that you can sign away in a contract. But those are all distortions, because like Seth likes to say, you don't have a soul. You are a soul. You are that thing that humans refer to as a soul. And it's not something that you have. It's not something you possess. It's something that you are. So it can't be given away. The reason why in the positively focused practice we use the word broader perspective is because the nature of your soul lends more accuracy to the words broader perspective than it does soul. Soul doesn't communicate very much. Broader perspective, on the other hand, communicates a lot. So let's use that phrase instead of soul as we explore what you really are. This gets a little, it's very complex what you are. And so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time going into the extreme nitty-gritty. I'll try to keep this at a relative surface level, but we could go extremely deep with regard to what this broader perspective is, how it comes about, and why it's an indelible part of your eternal expansion. But instead, let's begin here. You are your broader perspective. There is an aspect of you, a much, 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 much larger and deeper aspect of you that permanently resides in non-physical. Non-physical is the space. It's not really a space. It's a component of all that is. That is the source from which this physical reality comes. It also happens to be the source of every other reality of any kind. It being non-physical is the underlying fabric, so to speak, of all that is, and gives rise to everything. Non-physical is where your broader perspective, which is you, resides permanently. And in that state of beingness, it is at one with all that is and what humans like to call God. At some point I may do a live about God, because the word God is just as highly distorted as the word soul. Be that as it may, your broader perspective is a component of all that is, which is what human beings like to call God. So you are your broader perspective. You are having a human experience. As your broader perspective, you are simultaneously having a human experience. So the person that I call Perry is the same being or entity that is Perry's broader perspective. It's just that in this physical reality, this physical time-space training ground, my broader perspective, is experiencing the life experience of Perry, the physical being in this physical reality. And the reason why my broader perspective, is having this experience as Perry, this physical body, is because this is one of the dimensions in which my broader perspective, is experiencing the infinite, eternal infinite, I have to emphasize that, infinite numbers of dimensions in which I am projecting myself in order to fulfill my desire of knowing myself and also contributing to the expansion of myself and the expansion of the universe and all that is. So you are the same construct I just described myself as. You are a broader perspective that permanently resides in non-physical. And not only are you experiencing the you that is you here in physical reality, but you're also experiencing at the exact same time infinite numbers of alternate, multidimensional versions of you in infinite numbers of alternative realities, alternate dimensions. So you can think of, it's not exactly like this. So language inherently communicates distortion because in non-physical, we don't use language like I'm using language here. We communicate telepathically, and we do so without language. So it's far less distorted, but I have to use language because I'm in a physical body. So in a sense, it's you are your broader perspective here, and then all around you in 3 dimensions. So it's not just in a circle like this, it's more like a sphere. All around you are dimensions of you that you have pushed out of yourself in order to explore things that are of significant value to you. And one of those dimensions in which you're doing that is this physical reality. So you're having this physical experience in this physical reality as one of the infinite numbers of experiences you're having as your broader perspective. And as all of those dimensions of you, all of those alternate reality versions of you are exploring in their individual time-space realities. Some of them are not based on time and space, but you get what I'm saying. As all of those versions of you are having their experience, those experiences are contributing to you. Now, none of this is theoretical. As your broader perspective, you have the ability in your physicalness to perceive exactly what I just said. So I'm not talking to you from a perspective of theory. I have had multidimensional out-of-body experiences while in meditation where I have confirmed what I'm telling you. And gradually my clients are beginning to have these experiences too. Every human being is a broader perspective. And every human being has the ability to perceive from the perspective of their broader perspective. But most people, you can probably confirm this in your own awareness and talking to others, most people have no idea that they are a broader perspective. In fact, most people are much more focused on their physical reality and their life experience in physical reality than anything else. And so because of that, they are blocking their awareness, their connection with their broader perspective, their awareness of it, their perception of it. And as a result of that, they don't experience what I just said a minute ago, where you could have an experience where you're perceiving the infinite alternate dimensions in which you are expressing yourself as your broader perspective. So you can see this is very sophisticated, isn't it? Oftentimes when I talk to clients about this, they have to stop me and ask me to repeat things. Obviously, I can't do that with you because you don't have a way to communicate with me here where I can stop and repeat things. But if you join me in the live, right now there's no one watching this live, but if you join me in the live when it's live, you can have direct conversations with me and we can talk about this. So that's what you are. You are your broader perspective, and you are, while at the same time, you're also in your physical body having this physical experience. And while you are in your physical body, you are also, from the perspective of what you are, your broader perspective, you are also communicating to yourself information that you want to know while you're in your physical body, information that leads you to those things that you want to have happen in your life as they are unfolding. This is why, I'm sharing a lot of information and it's really dense, but I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom here. The kingdom being everything you want in life. This is why it's important for you to line up with your broader perspective, because it, which is you, is continuously guiding you toward the time and space coordinates where everything you're wanting is unfolding without you having to do anything to have those things happen if you follow the guidance. But in order to follow the guidance, you have to have a conscious connection with that part of you that remains in non-physical, which I'm calling your broader perspective. And this is one of the prime purposes of what we do in the positively focused practice, is making conscious and then amplifying the connection between you and you in physical reality and you in non-physical as your broader perspective. So in that broader perspective, you can see all of the decisions you have made, are contemplating making, and will make in your physicalness. And because you can see all of that, and you can see the probable alternate futures that result from those decisions, you have the reason why we call it the broader perspective is because you have a broader perspective of your life trajectory here on earth. And so you are guiding yourself into the probable future realities that will become your now as you move forward. So now, like I said a few minutes ago, most people don't realize they have a broader perspective. Most people don't even think they dream, but they're dreaming all the time. And it is in the dream state that you and it's the same being, but I have to speak this way because we're using English. You and your broader perspective in the dream state are coordinating what your future experiences are going to be the next morning, the next day, the next few weeks, the next on and on into the future. That's how your life experience unfolds, is that in the dream state, you're selecting the probable future realities you're going to move through, and you're doing that in coordination with your broader perspective and with all of the alternate dimension versions of you that are having this experience in the sphere that surrounds your broader perspective, so to speak. So your life experience here on earth is a great big collaboration happening through the collaboration with the versions of you and your broader perspective, and then of course the cadre, the innumerable spiritual beings that are participating alongside with you in the unfolding of all that is. Really good. So that's what your broader perspective is. Clearly, I hope you can understand, based on everything I've said for the last 17 minutes, why it's important that you connect consciously with your broader perspective, which is you. The main reason why is because it feels so good to be connected, to perceive that connection and realize, know that connection is imbuing you. It's fulfilling you. It's filling you up with guidance that when you follow, you are led to the unfolding of everything you want without you having to do anything to have those things happen other than show up. I have this happening on almost a moment by moment basis. My clients are beginning to have those experiences more and more too. So I know that this is happening. So why is it important to connect consciously with this source of yours? Because it is the source of everything you're wanting. It knows everything you're wanting. It is you. But if you don't know that it is you, it's better to see it kind of like how I'm describing it with language. Consciously connecting with your broader perspective gives you the broader perspective of your life trajectory. And without you having to know the specifics of what you're wanting, you're being guided by yourself to those specifics. And that's why when they show up, sometimes you're surprised and delighted, because in your human experience, you don't have the broader perspective. And that's another reason why it's important to consciously cultivate this relationship, because your human perspective is limited. You're doing it. You're specifically limiting your perspective, your perception through your ego, through the function that manages your focus into physical reality so that you perceive duality. That's a limited focus. And so you can transcend that limited focus by having a conscious connection with your broader perspective, through which you will perceive beyond the limitations of the function of the ego. So it's very important to have this conscious connection with your broader perspective. The most important reason is because it feels so good to have it. In that relationship, you realize your sovereignty, your worthiness. You realize that you are the king of your domain because you are the creation of it. And when you have that connection with your broader perspective, that what I just said becomes real for you. And in that realness, you stop depending on others to validate your existence. You stop depending on others to validate your existence. You no longer put other people on a pedestal. You put people in their proper place and exalt yourself as the sovereign creator of your reality, which is exactly what you are from the perspective of your broader perspective. So this is, you've got to realize what I'm talking about is not theory. This is actual lived experience. And when you have this connection with your broader perspective, you are filled with what I just mentioned about being sovereign and feeling worthy. You are filled with it. And in that state of being, you cannot help but realize that you are the center of the universe and that the universe is bending over backwards to give you everything you want. So that's why it's so important. Yes, it's important because when you line up with your broader perspective, everything you want flows into your life experience in divine timing. But it's more important to realize this relationship because it fills you up with the sense of all that you are. And all that you are is awe-inspiring. That's what you're wanting to perceive. That's what you're wanting to experience. The awe-inspiring nature of you. That's what all of this is about. That's what all of physical reality is about. That's what all of the alternate dimensions, the infinite dimensions in which you exist as other versions of you, that's what those are all about. They're all about you realizing the awe-inspiring nature of you. It's so good. I've said a lot. And I still have 2 more points that I promised I'd cover. Oh, wait. So the third one was talking about the benefits of nurturing that relationship with your broader perspective. I just talked about those. So we got through all 3. I'll just recap that real quickly. The benefits of nurturing your relationship with your broader perspective are, first and foremost, the feeling you get from realizing it, not having a theoretical awareness of it, from directly experiencing that relationship. That direct experience is intoxicating. It's so, so good. So that's the primary benefit. Another benefit is you can perceive the reception of communication that you are sending to yourself. And that fills you with such a sense of security and clarity and awareness of what you really are. The direct experience of receiving that guidance is off the charts. And then the third benefit is you are guided to everything that you're wanting, which is unfolding in divine timing on its own without you having to do anything to make those things happen. So you realize the charmed life, the effortless nature of life experience. You realize this as a result of nurturing your relationship with your broader perspective. So that's point 3, the benefits of nurturing the relationship with your broader perspective. So now let's talk about how to develop this conscious connection. So it's just like I've been saying in these lives. We don't have a client relationship, so we don't have the benefit of talking every week intimately so that I can give you the guidance where you can learn more quickly the steps that the positively focused framework includes that allows you to develop this conscious connection. So what I have to do, because most people I imagine aren't coming and watching every single one of these lives, is I kind of have to meter out the process of developing a conscious connection with your broader perspective, which is what the positively focused framework is all about. It's all about developing that relationship with your broader perspective. The one how I've been sharing is, in the last few lives anyway, is every morning when you wake up, before you get up to do anything, expressing appreciation for the things in your immediate surroundings. It looks and sounds like this. You wake up and you go, I appreciate the good sleep I had. If you didn't sleep good, I appreciate that I was able to go to sleep, to try to go to sleep. If that doesn't work, I appreciate the comfort of my pillow. I appreciate the comfort of my bed. I appreciate the warmth of my partner next to me. I appreciate my pet that is snuggled between my legs. I appreciate the beautiful paint on my walls. I appreciate this apartment or this house that I live in. I appreciate the technology that allows me to wake up to music. I appreciate clock technology that tells me what time it is. I appreciate all of the people who contributed to the concept of beds. I appreciate all the people that went into providing me with the bed I'm in. I appreciate the people who constructed this bed. I appreciate the oxygen in this space. I appreciate my body. I appreciate how good it feels to be in my body. So that's what the appreciation practice looks like. And you do that every single morning. And the reason why you're doing this is to begin to condition you to perceive your life experience in the same way your broader perspective perceives your life experience, which is everything that's happening in it is worthy of your appreciation. So the two things I just talked about how to develop your conscious connection with your broader perspective, the two things are also benefiting you, because when you're doing this appreciation exercise, number one, you're strengthening the muscle of being able to see your life experience through the lens of appreciation. And number two, you're amplifying your awareness that your life is worthy of appreciation. And then number three, your broader perspective is always seeing everything that's happening in your life experience from that perspective. So by doing this practice, you are tuning yourself, you are learning to see your life experience the way you do from your broader perspective. So it's almost 30 minutes. I've covered all of the parts. I kind of want to give you one other practice, but I think I'll stop here and save that for the next live in a couple weeks. So today, we've defined what your broader perspective is. We've talked about how it is similar to, but not exactly like a soul. We've talked about how your broader perspective is you, indelible, existing continuously in non-physical reality. We've talked about the importance of connecting consciously to your broader perspective, because it's constantly guiding you, and receiving that guidance consciously is intoxicating. We've also talked about the benefits of nurturing the relationship, primarily being how good it feels to have it, and then secondarily receiving the guidance, which then leads you to everything you're wanting. And then finally, I talked about the appreciation exercise, which I've talked about before, which will help begin to develop your awareness that you have a broader perspective and that that relationship is important. There's nothing like having this awareness. There's nothing like knowing that you are eternal, that you are knowing, not believing, not trusting, not having faith in, knowing that you are existing in multiple dimensions simultaneously, and that all those dimensions are being orchestrated by you from the perspective of your broader perspective. There's nothing like that. There's nothing in physical reality that can compare to the juiciness of that. And so, I bid you adieu from this live. I wish the best relationship for you, which is your relationship with your broader perspective. Go out and practice this. And I promise, as you do, you will come into deeper appreciation of all that you are. I've said my piece. See you in 2 weeks, or I'll see you in the next videos which post on Monday and Wednesday.